What's going on, y'all? Dereliction is real. Let me put some on real quick. Oh. Yeah, look at all the fall trees. Dropped my phone. Hold on. Yeah, yeah. Just want to come out here for a minute. Yeah, the dereliction is a day-to-day process. We all have it. Yours truly. I want to expound on what Cerulean said about that. But he said, talking about the dereliction of the Negro man, which is true. What you see in these spaces, a lot of niggas got problems. They got problems in real life, and then they think everything is going to be all right mentality, right? It's just like a little day to day. It's like a little Saturday stream. I'm just trying to pump out some content later, you know. I said I wasn't going to do one, but I decided to do one. I meant to do one yesterday because I caught up being a panelist, but you know how it is. But yeah, it is day to day. Everybody deals with it in their own pace. But you got a lot of dudes in the space want to blame women all day. It's just, it's ridiculous. We get the stories of child support and all this other shit. Who cares? If you trust a woman, like my boy Ty City said, it's your fault. I mean, a lot of dudes have that derelict mindset, man. They just want that crazy all day. But the thing is, I'm just like, what's the purpose? But you got a lot of dudes that crazy many times around. Like we expound on. He says the day to day, and he said you can fix some of the problems, and you can be super responsible. You just have that one moment. I deal with it all the time, and I understand what he's talking about. You just got to acknowledge it and embrace some of the things that you can do better. But one thing I could say on his comments on that 10-hour video, we talked about it, and I saw that 10-hour stream too. What he talked about, it is day to day. It's a day to day process. So, yeah, man. Yeah, it is a day to day process. What's going on, nicer? But I'm not worried about what individuals say about me on this channel, or whatever. The hate can come. And I kind of funny that Thurwood was saying, "Oh, good morning, Sheila." I kind of find it funny that Thurwood was talking about the Polygon and Gnome Lightside going at it over there, killing each other, their leadership. You see the derelictness of those Negroes over there killing each other over ideology, the vagina, and things like that. It's just crazy. I mean, shalom, IL. Yeah, shalom to you, bro. But yeah, man, it's just one of those things. I'm like, it's so real. It's so real. But you got to embrace the problems that you have. You got to get used to. Yeah, what's going on, Wacky? Shabbat Shalom. There you go. But yeah, it is so real. I kind of find it funny what he was talking about that situation over there, and he mentioned that on the stream, and him and I think he mentioned over at Kudas. He mentioned over at even Rashawn's. And I don't care for them dudes like that. I mean, they can go argue with the big homie X, the Avatar one, JX. She's mad at me because of that the shit over in Kudas, and she's mad at me and Pepe right now. And Kuda too. Three people. I don't think she cares, but she's really mad. That's why she don't go over there. But yeah, man, you got you gotta have your mind right. I preach that on this channel and just be evergreen. But these dudes don't want to admit that. They always want to point the finger. It's you women's. It's you this. It's all. It's these women's. but love hoes on the low. They just love hoes, and I just discussing. Glad I saw the replay of that 10-hour video we just talked about. He said it's a day-to-day fight. He said even yours truly. He's got to acknowledge that, because sometimes you can't worry about frivolous stuff like that and just the things that should come into nature. But but you got to acknowledge that. It's the acknowledgement, because a lot of people don't admit it. Like you said about the derelict Negro males, man. Oh, appreciate it, bro. And yeah. Oh, what kind? Oh, I got Android. It's it's a LG Stylo Plus 6. I got the latest one. It does what you gonna call it, the noir. It's a noir color. When I do that, when I do self live streams on the cell phone, yeah, yeah, I use microphones when I live stream, but sometimes the phone is good when you self talking to people and things like that. I ain't had a splitter to use a mic too to talk to y'all as well, but I'm playing with it. But for now, I got it. What's going on, Mace? Yeah, it is so real today. I mean, the dereliction, man, for these males, man, crying about the females a lot in these spaces. And I'm glad Cerulean mentioned that. I said it is a day-to-day process. We all struggle a little something, but it's no excuse to complain. You gotta be productive out here. I decided to make this little stream this morning. I mean, good morning to everybody, and shouts out to Cerulean with the share. But it's just like I said, you got to control yourself. It's like everything said, you got to tone that down. I mean, what we said about Oblivion, that incel held them, that's a serious problem around the world. Yeah, it's a Stylo Plus 6. I got this around Christmas. It was a Christmas gift. And yeah, it's got good data too. It's got 4 different cameras. Yeah, it's a nice phone. So I got one of the latest phones. They stopped making them. They just do TVs now. But yeah, man, I had to make it. Yeah, it's got 4 cameras on the back. It's like little type cameras or recordings and things like that. They ain't no iPhone, but they stopped making them because they sticking with the TVs. Yeah. But as I was saying, the dereliction, man, I'm starting to believe what he's saying, but these dudes be complaining about the same shit. And I think I caught halfway through Wacky stream about the vagina thing in these faces, but them niggas gonna be toast this winter. I ain't worried about them. I already know what's gonna come down the pipe. I mean, shouts out to DeAndre with that information, but we're not gonna get into that on this live right now. That's a whole nother private subject matter. I'll speak to y'all offline about that. But yeah, they ass is done. Shouts out to Big J and everybody else, man. But I've been cooling out. Even though I was a panelist for like 2 days, I did a lot of streams. I think I did a lot of after streams, but that history stream was kind of short. I know I had less views on it because no one cares about the education. I just dropped the little jewels on the knowledge. I just let the views go up and let them eat that for a little bit. It was a small chapter, but I will do the prehistoric next week. Talk about the world in America, North America. It's a long read. That may not be an open panel. Just don't think it's going to be a panel, but it's not going to be an open panel. That's going to be a 4-hour stream. I'm going to tell you that right now. I can talk to you in the comments. That's easy. But I will do a Friday discussion, open sectors of that. So yeah, just look out for that. But tomorrow I will stream and have the Sunday chills with you, the talk and things like that. I don't know what I'm gonna do in the morning. I may do 2 streams. Might do another self live stream that Sunday, but we'll see. Well, yeah, fall is here, folks. It's October. It's 67 out here on a nice fall day. It's not super cold, but the leaves is, I'll show you how the leaves is falling. Yeah, yeah, it's falling. Yeah, you got them all falling right now, so we're gonna go right back to it. Got to cam up again, but like I said, one thing I can say about it's a day-to-day process. You gotta enjoy it, man. I mean, this country is built on that. But a lot of these Negro males, man, they act crazy. Like I said, black males in particular, and they try to say, I'm a man, in the manosphere, but in reality, they males. Crying about the vagina all day. It's crazy. Arguing about little shit. But that's the problem with men in general. How can you have a society you focus on the woman between the legs, but you're not responsible and don't show leadership? And when I saw David Johnson cracked under pressure when cerulean over at Sheila's, man, he's a follower. Every time when some bull BS or some mad go around, right? He always shows up for some reason trying to quote the scriptures and things like that. David. As a Zion man / Israelite man, you should behave in a righteous manner. You're not showing that, brother. You're over here trolling like a child. Like the general said, when is enough is enough? You lack confidence, man. It's a lack of confidence. You're in the abyss of your dereliction. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just watched Ashley Nathaniel talk about the lack of confidence of people. He had to use an example on somebody. Yeah. He was over at Ramil's. But your boy is not that bright, man. He's always been a damn follower. He ain't no leader. If he was a leader, he don't even show his work. But speaking of an individual last night named JR talking about gear, so dude, you ain't got no fucking content. Speaking about gear and shit, I'm like, who is you? But see, this is why no shots at the comments in here, but I'm talking about bots and derelict Negroes in the comment section act stupid. Like guys like that. Well, I was disgusted last night. I mean, shouts out to Sir Ism doing his channel and things like that. He wants to be an entertainer. Be an entertainer, bro. Appreciate you. But I'm just saying, like, guys like that, dude, what are you contributing? I'm not trying to say, subscribe, that's good, but don't argue with somebody that has real content and you don't, and you follow the wrong shit. I'm like, JR, get a life, bro. Everybody's not gonna do the same shit. Like, I respect people do their own lane. Don't try to be like this individual, that individual. That's them. You got to be you. Because I hate that sometimes. You got to think for yourself because that's another way you become a follower, but you got to be your own leader. It's okay to be a good follower, but you got to learn how to be your own leadership too. You got to get out of that dereliction, man. There was a lot of derelicts in that comment section, man. I didn't like from Islam, but I get it because they lack confidence. And he was talking about microphones. Dude, I already know about mics. I already know about the difference between the dynamic and condenser. I can tell you that. Dynamics is just for professionals. They try to tell you it's this other shit. No, it's for professional work. That's when you're trying to learn about diaphragms and sounds and shit, mixers and interface. I was looking at it. It's nice, but everybody's not doing that on YouTube. You know what I found out when I look at those tech reviews? 80% of the people don't really care as much because most people's on a cell phone and these AirPods. You kind of blame Marquise Brownlee for that. I mean, yes, he used mics too. Everybody switches up. Not everybody's gonna use the same thing all the time. I hope y'all notice. What's so funny about dynamics and condenser? I'll show you the difference. The two main brands that everybody uses on both of those, if you use a dynamic, everybody's gonna use the Shure SM7B, right? And then come to find out on YouTube, most people use the USB Blue Yetis, right? These are two common standards on YouTube. And I hate to say it, the more I look at those reviews, I'm like, I'm just shocked. But the dereliction of people, they don't understand that. Like JR, I only use him for example last night. In other interviews I went on streams, I saw Ashley Nathaniel act the same way. And they lack confidence. You can't expect everybody to get the same microphone. No, you got to be different. It's okay to get different microphones. There's other microphones in the condenser. You get the HyperX Podcast. You get the Razer. The Dynamic, it's so many. RE20s. It's a list of dynamic mics. That mic is not the end all be all. That's just for entertainment. But if you look at the other dynamic mics, they cost like $118, like that Python I done seen with the mute button. The M2, the Audio Technica, what's it called? The M240 or 2040 or something like that, 2040. That's a good one. I mean, it's so many dynamic mics, and then you got your Telefunkens, you got your German mics. Those are nice microphones. Well, like as I was saying to him, like in the chat, everybody's gonna be different. You can't expect people to be mainstream. I try to tell them it's not mainstream. YouTube is mainstream. What you say, video sharing and all that. You can say that in a vein, but us as people is not mainstream. We're basically underground. I try to tell people, YouTube, as a YouTuber, you're supposed to use USB mics. You ain't supposed to use a lot of dynamic mics. Dynamic mics is for professional. If you try to be on TV and try to be on YouTube TV, I'll give you an example. If you want to be on the news, I told them fuck Fox and CNN. Those are liberal news media. Who gives a fuck about them? They spew on bullshit. You want to be that? Take your ass on TV. They'll train your ass. They'll give you dynamic mics for free and train you how to use lavaliers and shit. But these niggas and these derelict Negroes that y'all trying to raise up, they're not gonna listen to you. They're bots. It's just like these white folks with Yetis and insurers all day on the gaming side. I don't tell you on the gaming side, like they play video games and stuff. Those are the mics everybody's using. I'm sorry to tell you that. And when those I learned these faces, everybody's using it. It's a standard. And I'm like, wait to myself, it's okay. It's nothing wrong using those mics. I'm just saying, like, don't expect people to do more. You gotta do you. And I was trying to tell him last night, I said, JR, you don't understand. Everybody's not gonna be that guy. Quit trying to force shit that don't work. Just let them be average. Let them do what they do. So, and shouts out to Ask Nate there. I'm glad he said that because you lack confidence, man. If you ain't got no gear, what the fuck you talk about in the comments section? Let the professionals handle it. Like Ism and Kuda had a good build. He decided to do that. He was on radio stations a few times and learned about dynamic shits. Yeah, he does, but he don't know what he's talking about. I'm talking about actually YouTube, and I'm talking about actually have both. You can't just be one dimensional. I'll tell you a secret. You cannot be one dimensional with this shit because what I've learned about content, you can't expect everybody to do the same shit. And I've learned this too. I learned this the hard way when I started streaming. I had to learn that everybody's different in the audience. I don't expect them to like my shit. And that's a good thing. As long as your message and your presentation's fine, it's perfect. But the dereliction of these Negroes, man, they don't understand how to capture audience. It's not about getting better microphones. Microphones is just a nice piece. That's just a saying you're improving. If you get a dynamic microphone, if you ain't saying much, people ain't gonna fuck with you. I'll give you an example. Information Man's mixer messed up when he had the Shure SM7B. I was in that stream when he had the messed up crowd on the pedals. He was using the condenser, which I'm not mad. I like that. He wasn't a one trick pony. Shouts out to him. And I love that stream that he did. He used that condenser like it was with confidence, right? He didn't try to act like no derelict on that show, man. Hey, I mean, you can get all the nice microphones you want, but if your message ain't right, if your presentation ain't right, people ain't gonna fuck with you. I know this. I know how YouTube works. I know how audience member works. Everybody's different. Everybody's not gonna think the same way. It's okay. Now, if you're doing music, if you're doing podcasting, that's great. Get you some dynamic professional mics. That's good. Condensers is good for recording. It's good for a lot of things. But if you're not trying to be professional and just have a video or a few streams there, yeah, you can use the USB. It's no issues right there. But what I was saying is, with him last night, it was on my mind. He act like he knew what he was talking about, but he don't. It's a lot of people can talk that, but you got to show and prove what type of content you're gonna sell. Quit trying to follow one individual that's already done it, man. Don't do that. You got to think for yourself. And that's what I was saying about David. David is nothing more than a fucking follower, man. And he's a great example of that. It's no hate on him. It's just what I observe over Sheila's, and shouts out to Cerulean point that out. That dude's gonna be a fucking follower, man. Like I said, you got a lot of derelict Negroes blaming women all day. It's just like what I saw Sheila's shit with that guy talking about 24 years of marriage. You know what I'm saying? They telling on themselves, man. You can't cry about other shit and there's bigger shit to fry. You gotta help out these boys, whatever. But you can't get mad at the world all day. You know what I'm saying? It's a day-to-day process. If you deal with your shit, deal with your shit. Just don't be arrogant about it. I was trying to tell JR in the chat, I was like, dude, I know about that shit. Y'all can't tell me shit. I study this shit. It's not about just hating. What's going on, Information Man? Salute to you. But I'm just saying, you can have all the nice things, but you gotta know what you're doing with it. It's like That's the worst way to teach somebody doing YouTube. Like the best, my advice, if they want to start, I started out with headsets, and I had to learn it's more than life and just having other things. Now, if you can afford those microphones, they're nice. They're nice to a step up. I should have did some of that years ago, but so I kind of regret not using USBs. But they're reasonable, and there's good ones right now, and they got some in dynamic form. So you got options. It's just that's just one piece. The camera is one piece too. Next piece is your presentation. What type of message you're gonna sell? What type of audience you want? Because everybody's audience is different. Everybody's not gonna like the same thing I'm gonna like. See, that's how you gotta be diverse like me. I can talk about a lot of different things. I mean, my channel deals with history. I talk about information, a little bit of philosophy there and there. And the Hebrew stuff, I just toned it down because that was in the past. I don't do that no more. I mean, I'll drop it in a few instances there and there in a daily prayer, but outside of that, you just gotta be you, man. Everybody's different in their own lane. I try to tell people if you want to start this shit, you're gonna have to learn to adapt to certain things, and it's nothing wrong being different. It's nothing wrong being different because I started out small. Uh, when I had my first channel before this second channel came, my first channel was Flag years ago. But this channel, I learned a lot. But see, back then I was using on the laptop mic. Then I eventually got USB years later. See, I should have had USB at the time. But see, I was thinking about myself back then. But see, it's a day-to-day process, man. I'm just saying, you can't expect people to do everything. You can't force people to be you. And I'm starting to agree with that. It's not about game and hating game. Like, dude, that shit, you gotta grow out of that shit. That shit you supposed to know when you're younger. The older you get, you can't teach that shit to nobody. A dating coach can't tell you shit. He only shows woman. There's no hate on people doing game and stuff, but you got to show and prove because people don't want to see that. When everybody's lit up and cam up, you got to show what you're about. You got to be a true matchmaker. Nobody's not gonna take you seriously. I'm sorry to say that it's competition. There's only a small fraction of men in the world. You know what I'm saying? And the other side is average men that produce, the money. I mean, you can have all the nice things, all the nice shit, all the nice microphones is cool, but if your presentation ain't right, I ain't gonna fuck with you. I mean, I look at people that sell tech, mic reviews, and all day long, and learn how to use them right, learn how to present your audience. That's what you teach them. But you start basic. Start with USBs, then you work your way up to the dynamics, and just keep them. I wouldn't throw them away. Just keep them because you may sell it to somebody, you help somebody else. So you can't be a derelict online, man, because YouTube is limited what it is. And what I've learned about the microphone thing and the tech reviews, 80% of people don't really care. It's only the content holder. He has to care about his content. So the secret is to that, you got to catch the audience right. You can't just force them to be you. I mean, you could give them some advice and make them the best you can. But the problem is when you try to go too big, you forget to learn what your content's about. There's nothing wrong with having big microphones. I mean, they're nice. I'm just not gonna rush to it because I understand how the algorithm in YouTube works. Everybody wants this fast food type thing, man. I'll say like content wise. But I was trying to tell JR, man, like, yeah, if you got all this expertise, man, just put some content out there. I mean, it's not about getting the stuff. You gotta actually have to have content. And people will respect you. They're not gonna respect you as a commenter. I'm telling you that right now. I tried that my first year on my first channel. That shit didn't work. I had to get, and I started the copyright game. Got out of that so around 2010. So I was trying to do some real content. I tried to do it in 2010. I was transitioning then until the next year, until I got flagged in 2012 in March and came back in April with this channel. I did straight content for 3 years. Then I took a 6-year hiatus and got out of these manosphere spaces. Came back in 2009 and say it's corrupt, and they talk about the same old nonsense from Sergeant Willie Pete, vagina, vagina, vagina all day in their dereliction. It's a problem. And shout out to Cerulean and DeAndre pointing that out to me. It's a problem. You got to blame Oblivion for that. He did this. That's why I named the title in your own dereliction. Same thing with gear. You can't think like everybody else. You got to think for yourself. You got to be creative. See, the uniqueness is lost in YouTube. I'm just going to say it right now. The uniqueness is lost on both races, black and white. It's disgusting, man, because when you talk about mic reviews and things like that, everybody got their favorite. If he wants to use USBs, let him. He's not trying to be a broadcast podcast in person. Now, if you're into that, you got to have extra shit. You got to make sure your shit's right and your presentation's right. You got to make sure you're trying to help the young ones. It can be about anything, any subject matter. See, podcast is not only about lights and microphones, it's about your presentation. That's like 90% of this presentation. If you really want to get technical in broadcasting, it's presentation. You got to talk to people a certain way, and you got to know what you're talking about. Are you really about that person? Because a lot of people can't podcast. I'm tell you that right now. Most people on YouTube cannot podcast. I know from experience by as a watcher and an observer and understand the mistakes they make, because there's etiquette. You can teach them a lot, but you can't teach talent. You can't teach natural talent. What's going on, antisocial light? Salute to you. And you can't teach that. See, what we're doing is broadcasting on these streams. But when it comes to podcasting and when you actually have proper lighting and microphones, dynamics, that's great. But if your presentation is terrible, like say if you talk about a bunch of bullshit about the sexual shit that's already been talked about in other fucking gossip circles, you already know your shit's it's not gonna go any farther. I mean, it'll go far if you have a little fuckery, but here's the secret. You got over 150 things to talk about. That's been talked about on YouTube. I mean, the drama, the jail stuff, people gonna get tired of it. If you ain't got no real content besides that, you gotta mix it up. See, in podcasts, you gotta do different things. You can talk about that, but you gotta talk about other subjects that you're good at too, and learn different subjects from other people. See, podcasting goes into it's like news, it's like broadcasting. You gotta make sure you have notes and memorize what you're saying, and then boom, there it is. Podcast is more than just gear and the lighting. That's gear. The other part is presentation. You gotta have presentation. You gotta have a good personality. You gotta get along with people, even ones you don't like. You gotta stand on some shit. But see, a lot of people's in their dereliction. They say, "Fuck it." You know how niggas gonna be, because they're gonna be like, "I ain't gonna do this. I ain't gonna do that." Going to argue. But see, if it's a white people, yeah, they do it right, but they have their dereliction modes too, like Joe Rogan. They ain't always consistent all the time. They be arguing in the background. They're full of shit. Good morning, underrated. Salute, man. But that's why I'm saying, when you're stuck in your own dereliction, man, you're fucked up. You're fucked up. You can't cry about shit. But you gotta understand where I'm coming from. I'm doing it right. I ain't trying to shine nobody, and it's a good thing. But when you talk about it, you talk about it. But you gotta be about it first. It's just people get stuck. And that's just how it is. But yeah, these dudes, man, complain about females all day. It's crazy. Oh, keep it up to you. Same to you, UD. Yeah, man. Yeah, but the dereliction, man, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. Like I noticed last night and yesterday, I was kind of disgusted in Islam's chat. That one individual, what's his name, JR, he be sounding all wow, man. Like, see, that right there, we don't need that. And shouts out to Ass Nick Down. He had a good live stream and he had to make an example on Capricorn Way. And he told him, "You lack confidence, man. These dudes lack a lot of confidence. And a lot of it is in their dereliction. They just don't want to admit it. They hate themselves. You know what I'm saying? And crying about the same shit for 30, 20 years. Want to be losers, man. I don't do that shit. I have no issue. I try not to worry about that. If you worry about the little things and fix them, I don't sweat the small stuff, but fix the little things around it, then everything else comes. The big stuff will come. I don't worry about trying to get a lot of dynamic stuff and trying to be popular. I get people like that on YouTube, but I've noticed in reviews, most people, and you can tell by the comments, some people are pro audiophiles. I get it. Some people ain't. But I'll tell you the ones that's pro audiophiles, I'll tell you what percentage. They're like 20% that has good hearing. It's cool. But I try to tell that to Kuda, man, like, you're dealing with 2080 again. Because 80% of the people online don't really care. And I've noticed that about YouTube, because YouTube's trying to push people into that direction with the phones, the little things like Mark. They into that. Now I know they use what we use. Now we use mics over here, and I use different things too. I got different headsets and things like that. I balance it out. But what I've noticed is if your presentation ain't right, people is not gonna mess with you. People's not gonna mess with you. You gotta have a good presentation. Your presentation has to be about anything. It can be about good subject matter. Write it down. You can make it newsworthy. You can talk about similar things you talk about, but it has to be right though. It has to be believable. But some people like to fake stuff because they like to clout chase and put names and titles. That's part of YouTube as well. I mean, they put you in the algorithm. But if you ain't got something else besides that, you ain't got no evergreen content. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. And you're stuck in your dereliction once again. Your pride and ego gets the best of you. I say this many times to myself, live streams. I try not to preach to everybody and try to be someone's leader. No, I'm just giving you some small advice. If you want to be a YouTuber and strive, and you can balance different subject matters, put some playlists together, that work. And plus, if you're a new beginner, do some content about the shit that you know, and learn about your cons, what you do in life, and then just put it out there. Because YouTube is a platform you can do that. You just can't be. Now you can be who you want to be. They say, yeah, true. As a character side of it, you got to be real at the same time. Show your real side on the low without the mask. See, you're just selling your channel, but you don't have to say channel. You're just giving the information to you. But your presentation has to be right. Probably mess with certain people. You know what I'm saying? Because when I subscribe to people, I look at everything. I don't just look at the gear. I just look at what your message is about. Then the gear is nice. That's just one piece. The other piece is, can you handle yourself? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, they do it for the wrong reasons. They doing it for the money too much. I mean, I understand it's not a moral thing. A lot of people think it's a moral compass. No, it's bigger than that. It's how you present yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, they just want attention too much, but they ain't got confidence in real life. I mean, I ain't gonna call it life, because we in life. I mean, real existence. They don't have none. And they lack a lot of things. Like I said, their dereliction is too high once again. It's a day-to-day fight. Acknowledge it, move on. A lot of these dudes in these spaces, they don't want to deal with that. I mean, what I saw yesterday, and I enjoyed Rashawn's panel and Kuda's panel yesterday. And prior to that, even the stream I did on that Thursday Thrills, I enjoyed that. I'm watching the replay of it now, the latest one I did. But I did one on the 10-hour one with Sheila. That was a great build. Great fucking build. And shouts out to Citizen Lou watching that. I mean, on the panel. I had a lot of good people. Exactly. I agree, Nicer. But yeah, you gotta have great presentation. Huh? I'm living good, music. How about you? Appreciate you stopping by. But yeah, man, you gotta have good presentation. That dereliction, man, it's real, man. Some people just gotta acknowledge it. Talking about the women all day and complaining about relationships, that's just gonna set you back. I mean, I've seen it too much on YouTube. You got to move forward and quit all this damn complaining. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's just the thing about me, but I'm not even worried about it. But you want to make this live. It's out here chilling. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even worried about anybody. Just want to stand here. But yeah, it's a nice fall day. It's like what 67 degrees. It's gonna be cool tonight. You know, it's here now. But yeah, people still tripping about relationships. I mean, Sheila did a good job. I mean, she enjoyed last night, but you know, I was peeping that everybody was doing their thing. But shout out to Izzo, man. I mean, if he's doing the thing, trying to do his little radio station, that's cool. He got good conversations. But for me, I'm doing my thing. Let's return the favor to him. But yeah, but I did see a stream with Jesse Andre and Shar. They had an interesting topic, but you know, I didn't go into that. And Kane did too. Yeah, it was. But man, it's a day-to-day fight. But I like that 10-hour stream we did. Me and Cerulean did. When he talked about that, man, that 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 right there, he said, and I'm glad he said it's a day-to-day fight to most people. You just got to deal with it, man. A lot of dudes don't want to hear that. A lot of dudes don't want to hear that. If they heard that, they would be like, "Man, I ain't got that type of problem." And that's exactly what you got, man. A lot of dudes just want to trip, but it's a problem. You know, like I've noticed that for like 2 years about the incel problem. I saw that like 2019, but I first heard that time. I think it was 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago, and then I heard it more last year in the pandemic. It's gotten worse, and then this year, somebody's gonna put a stop to it. But we'll see. We'll see this winter. Y'all gonna see. I'm just gonna fall back and not gonna say shit because you motherfuckers keep going what you're going. All right, I'm gonna stop saving you. You niggas got to go, man. It's a day-to-day fight, but I'm just saying. I don't know if I'm gonna make a stream because I'm gonna have to check out my boy Third Wars for the Record TV and Teapot tonight. I'll check those out and just go through. Guess what I'm saying, man? I'm just gonna I'm just going to check those today because I don't know who's gonna be streaming today because I'm gonna be chilling. So yeah, the dereliction is real, man. But you know, shout out to DS1. He was over there at Isms, and I think he did a tribute to him. So yeah, man. I'm not saying nothing wrong. I'm just keeping it real. It's gone, degenerate. Well, yeah. Ooh, the sun's peeping through the cloud. Yeah, yeah. Just a little view because they're gonna have a short show today, nicer. They're gonna have a short show today, and this is gonna be fun because see, gear wise is good for me, but I don't keep doing my content. I mean, yeah, I've been consistent, man, because I had a Sunday chill stream. I had like two after streams, and I think the CUDA after stream was nice. It was like 4 hours. I enjoyed that one too. I saw the replay on that one. And I wasn't expecting them passing me streams. It was CUDA, Sheila. Shouts out to those individuals. And I said, you know what? Let me go in. Let me go in. And I started doing it. And then I did my Thursday Thrills, enjoyed that one. I'm still watching that one now on the replay because I'll head back and then watch that and just hang out and chill for the day. But yeah, dereliction is day to day. I'm glad we did that 10-hour stream, man. I was like 10 hours. I was like, that's my second 10-hour stream that I did. I was like, wow. I think in the midst of it, we talked about it. So a lot of them think they don't have a problem. Like it's certain policies you gotta get to. They just don't want to do it. Always want to complain about child support. You got this one individual, what's his name, Mr. Palmer. He talks about that, call him terrorists. Yeah, which is kind of funny to me, but I get where he's coming from. I mean, that's his right. But a lot of dudes is waking up, man. They're tired of hearing that shit. The ones is waking up. I ain't gonna say a lot. It's the ones is waking up. The majority, 80% or 90%, they sleep. They're just too busy worrying about the wrong things. And the thing is, they don't have the habit to, to control themselves. So I'm just out here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not even tripping at this point. Because people could say a lot of shit. A lot of shit. And for me, I'm doing good out here because it is what it is. So that's their own dereliction problem. So you got to do what you got to do. Because for me, I didn't expect to stream today. I didn't expect to stream this a little bit longer, but I decided to do one because I meant to do one yesterday. I meant to do one yesterday because I felt like I need to talk about this. I mean, last night was kind of interesting, and the commenters they so deranged. They're gonna be who they are. I have to learn to accept that because you can't please everybody, especially on YouTube. Because I learned that years ago, and I tell the newcomer just do your content, just keep it evergreen, be right. And like I said, from experience, I can tell you, you're gonna get those. I don't give a damn what nobody says. They can't tell me shit about content. They can't. They can't. Because I didn't fake it till I make it. It's not easy. I'm the most hated in black sectors. I'm gonna tell you that. I speak my mind and I tell it like how it is. And I like the people that's around me. You know what I'm saying? I don't care who likes me or not. You know what I'm saying? I stand on what I stand on. It ain't easy, but you gotta stand on what you stand on. And I don't give a fuck. Well, all I gotta say is, yeah, the dereliction is real. It's real. I mean, it's a day-to-day fight. You gotta deal with it. Even yours truly right here in Sterling. Like he said on that 10-hour stream, I enjoyed that. And I had to make a stream about that. I said, I'm observing a lot of niggas, man. And it's the same shit. What's on the table? What you got on the table and all that type shit. I'm like, nigga, you ain't got no confidence to be asking her like that. Where's your confidence at, nigga? I'm like, I ain't got time to hear that. And that Masonic dude, I ain't gonna mention his name, he's a disgrace too. He showed his, and someone had to pull his whole card. And that thing that he was with, his friend, she's holding him back. I mean, y'all can like her. I don't care for her. I ain't forgot what she said over at Mace. I'm gonna keep it at that. She can keep it over there. Ain't no issue. It's just I just don't mess with her like that. I know where her heart is. I see phoniness in women like that all the time. But here's what I do: I avoid them. I don't argue with them. I just let them hang themselves. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do with them, and that's a good conversation. What's going on, G's? Salute to you, bro. Good stream last night. But I'm just saying the dereliction is so high, man. These dudes act like a bunch of derelicts out here, man. They crazy. And I started seeing what Cerulean and DeAndre was talking about. These niggas is weak, man. They talk all this bullshit, and someone's got to pull their whole cards. What Thurwood told me the other day about Polygon and what's his name? Was it Polygon and the big homie? Yeah, yeah. Oh, appreciate it, nicer. But yeah, I'm just saying, like, why do we should care about it? Like, I don't care about them killing each other. They deserved each other. Mr. Polygon versus Gnome Lightside. You think I care about them niggas? They fuck niggas to me. Cause I ain't forgot what they did. I ain't forgot what they did. And I ain't forgot they did with that sapiosexual shit last year with me and Complex. Shouts out to Complex Design. Uh it's just I don't subscribe to the bullshit of a man disrespecting his wife and shit, right? And I co-signed a Complex for that over at another individual, because I ain't gonna mention his nickname because you already know what I call him. He ain't about shit either. He's a trick offline. Loves that Irene woman, but I ain't gonna get into that. I'm gonna leave that alone. It's a fucking clown to me, just like the rest of them niggas. But see, without Zero and Mr. Fednelli, them niggas is divided. They don't fuck with each other like that. See, Kuda be peeping, I be peeping. I don't be over there like that. I mean, Third be watching. I don't be watching like that. And them niggas fall like chairs, man. Like I told you, if you want stagnating content and bullshit and you're in your own dereliction, I stop fucking with them niggas. I'll tell you like this. I let them niggas have at it. Have at it. I cut them niggas off, man. I did the right thing. I did the right thing in March. I did the right thing in December. Fuck all them niggas, and I'm going up. That's it. I help the ones that need to be helped, but fuck them. No, we're gonna be all right. It's just I'm just not gonna speak to you. I ain't forgot what you did. I can forgive what you did, but I ain't gonna forgot what you did. It's still a big fuck you over here, straight up. Cause I know y'all ain't coming through here. Cause we chop heads off over here. I don't play that shit. Go hang with the one that has a beard attached to it. That's infamous. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it, man. Like that's why the space it will fall apart. I won't see it burn because number one, it's not doing anything but complaining. Because you got a lot of dudes acting like a bunch of derelicts over here hating on females all day. That's not masculine, man. Arguing with a woman is not masculine. It'll never be masculine. I don't care what nobody says. Even my mother taught me this. That's not masculine. Even my father knows that. That's not masculine. It'll never be masculine. I don't give a fuck who says it. I said it. If they don't like it, they can go fuck themselves. It's not masculine. You in your dereliction and start hating on that. Yeah, it's not masculine. That's why I don't do it on panels. What's going on, Toyo, the ultimate tutorer? Yeah, in the building. Appreciate your information, man. But yeah, man. Like I said, it's okay to get nice gear. It's okay to be yourself. You know, YouTube is YouTube. You just got to make sure your content and your message is right. Make sure your presentation's on, for Christ's sakes, man. Be be original. Like, don't try to be the guys like, Suspicious Samuels, like my boy says, Cerulean says, Suspicious Samuels. He's suspicious. Don't be him. Don't be him. I know he's different and everything else, but who cares? He's just like anybody else. As far as he gonna get, if he ever gets 5 million, like my prediction says, it still stands. If he wants to get that video, that's as far as he'll ever go. But YouTube, I don't know, man. They can clip his ass. You can't clip Cynthia G because she ain't threatened nobody. Yeah, she's a woman. Yeah, she ain't perfect. But I'm just saying, like, what's the point? And they had those petitions. And you know what's really laid out to me? I said KS. You know why? Because he's obvious. He ain't got no backup plan. She got a backup plan. She got the backhand. He's protected. That dude, no, 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 no. He's responsible for that bag. But what I've learned is like even when you get gear, you gotta make sure you know what you're talking about. It's good to have good production. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Ain't nothing wrong with good production. If you have a good message, I respect it. Your presentation, that's the number one thing. That overrides the gear part. Yeah, you can have a semi-gear to greater gear to be good, but I'm just saying your message gotta be right. Eventually, you're gonna get greater gear. Don't get me wrong. Your blessings, when you get it, when someone gives it to you, if you're that type of person, they'll put you in that position. You earned that. You didn't just get it by, I'm gonna be crazy, in the derelict state, you be geeked up to say, oh, I got it, but you forget about your audience. You gotta be smart. And I'm just saying, yeah, but I'm just saying, you got to understand, like a lot of people, it's a day-to-day fight to them, man. But you can't get mad at the world all day. You got to do something besides complaining. Because when dudes complain, they don't get no action. They don't want to talk about game all day and try to be a dating coach. Dating coach is played out, man. Like, shouts out to Aston Dan. He said that's a dating site for the average dude. Or if he's buying something. A lot of people don't agree with that, but that's their options. They ain't got it like that. Now, some average men is different, but if they are above average men, if they're extraordinary, they can do that. It's only 20%. I'll say 1% to 20% can do that. 80% and 90% of the people can't do that. No. It's got to be in you. You got to have that confidence. But the key thing is if you're confident to do that, be confident. But lack of confidence means a lot of things. You can lack confidence in your dereliction. You lack confidence. Say, I don't want to help somebody and I just want to be lazy. That's easy to do. Anybody can do that. I admit that. I'm a little lazy sometimes. But sometimes if you're doing content that's good, you can't be lazy. You got to be consistent. Laziness is just a lack of confidence, a lack of thinking, and a lack of knowledge. You're trying to stay in a rut. You know what I mean? That's stagnating. You stay stagnant, and that's the problem. And a lot of people, they just want to get angry at the world, blaming the opposite sex all day. Now, I ain't got no problems with women or anything like that. I don't brag about them. I don't really care for them like that. That's their thing. I let them be who they are and just whatever, especially on the internet. I ain't trying to argue with no feminists. It's a waste of time. She's going to be biased. She's going to have her bias faults. I don't care about no relationship talks because to me, they're pointless and bullshit because I see it from my parents' scope when I talk about relationships. I look at the marital part. That's it. That's the only experience I had, even my own personal little relationship. Outside of that, I don't really care. It's not true. It depends on the person. If she ain't shit and she lacks confidence, you cut her fucking loose. That's all I gotta say about that. But fuck it. You know what I mean? And don't try to be a dating expert. A true dating coach is a max matcher, not one online. No. You gotta be about something. Like I said before, it's with the gear stuff, presentation. You can't be stuck in your own dereliction. You just can't. I don't see why dudes do that. I don't use it. A lot of people are miserable. They're willing to blame anyone. Happiness is an inside job, no matter what. Exactly. It's internal. It's internal. Exactly. I was about to get to that. What are you suffering internally is a day-to-day fight, but what you also got to know, the spiritual aspect, you got to believe in yourself, it's confidence. And not only that, you got to acknowledge what you lack. You get some help, confidence will grow. You do it. Only you can fix that. Did everything that the environment changes around you. I learned that from a Christian pastor. He said that years ago when I was 19. You got to change the environment around you. You got to get away from the environment. Change the environment around you. And he did a little exercise. If you're a shade tree, you're in the dark so much. You come to the light, to the truth, sees itself. It's a different ball game. It's a different ball game. You gotta be ready for war in the light. Because not everybody cares about that. I mean, your presentation has to be on point. So yeah, man, you gotta care for certain individuals, even if they're on their worst day. I do this. I do this for different reasons. I don't just do it for money. I help somebody that's younger than me, so I lead the way how to do it. You know what I'm saying? I have different things to talk about. I talk about different subject matters. I'll stop and listen for hours on the panel and just study people. You know what I mean? And I did that thesis with SKC because here's what I learned from him. You can't talk to him like a black person. You got to talk to him like a white person. And black people he's a necessary evil. I'll tell you why I say he's necessary. He's a necessary evil because niggas are stuck where they at. And they ain't used to that. You're going to have to deal with them in business and society, especially mainstream. He's a necessary evil. Ain't no hate on him. Not over here. Not over here. No. He's very valuable in these spaces because that lets you know when you go on the other side, there's people like him around. They do exist. It's the acknowledgement of who he is. But that's just what I'm saying at this point. But your presentation got to be on point. So I'm not mad what's going on. So when I did this stream, I said, this came to my mind. I thought about that 10-hour stream, what he said. Yes, it's a day-to-day fight, and I'm glad I did it. And I'm glad I saw Ask Nathaniel's stream, the confidence I came out here to talk to y'all, man. And I'm showing it because right now it's just, I can do this. This is nothing. This is fucking nothing. I can show myself on here, it ain't nothing. For what I'm observing. But being on panels, that's easy. I did that last year. I'm done with that. I only do that for certain people. But if it's like anywhere else, I'm not fucking with you. You know what I'm saying? If I like the channel, I may like the channel. But if it's a channel they suggest is good, I'll go up on there and talk to it. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting away from these pastor like people in the sphere like that. I don't support that shit. I'm getting away from that. I already got a couple of them in my subscription. That's cool. but it's like a fair and balanced thing because I'm a regular over there. It's kind of like the brain trust. I mean, shout out to DJ Kuda, like giving me the presentation information. You gotta know what you're talking about. You gotta have notes and all that. I start doing that with my streams. I did that with Thursday Thrills 2 in a row. I may do another one. And this is a subject I want to keep doing. Oh, go ahead, have your fun, Miss Sheila. Doing a great job for your consistency. I appreciate your content as well. It's great. Keep up the great work. But for me, it's just like this is nothing to me. Second nature, man. 10-hour streams is nothing. I can do that and hold a panel like that. So I've been on 17 hours as a panelist. I can tell you that from experience. That ain't easy. That ain't easy to do. I move around and dance around with it. Yeah, she did. It was great. I was there. I skywatched the shit. They didn't want to interrupt. They had their fucking fun. It's great. I like to see that. Something different, you know, instead of just, oh, she's the problem. Cause I ain't got no jawline and all that shit. You know, I don't want to hear all that. I don't want to hear all that all day. And that's just way it is, man. Like, you gotta have confidence in this shit, man, especially on YouTube. You can't cry about everything. You do that, you lack of confidence. That's all I'm saying. You lack confidence. Yeah. I'm just saying. Exactly, Divulge. That's what I'm saying, man. These dudes is crazy. They stuck in a dereliction. So, I ain't got no jawline. I can't get no women. They were problems because I'm fat as hell. And the guy not with me. And all that shit. I'm tired of hearing that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? That shit was dead over Sergeant Willie peacetime, and Tommy stole it from him from 1.0, and now they do this fuck shit in 2.0 with this conscious community shit. Act like a bunch of derelicts, man. They're in their dereliction, man. It's a day-to-day fight, and they don't want to admit it. I wasn't dying. I didn't even do this, you know, acting crazy and shit. But that's what they do. That's what they do. And I see this all the time. I don't say nothing. I try not to say nothing in the chat anymore. I just learn from people how dumb they are, man. Even my streams, I'm listening to myself how I talk, and I enjoy the confidence I have because I've done this before. I just listen to other people's problems. I don't go to channels they be going. I'm learning, and it's good because I study people. And it's a good thing because when you study people, you understand where they come from. And even if you meet them in person, it's cool if they have that same energy, which they probably are, and they probably not. But I'm just saying, in these spaces, when they get online, they bring that shit, that energy to the channels. And that's how I learned about YouTube. Now, if we're talking about gear and stuff, if you want to try to be just a plain old YouTuber and a content creator, my suggestion is try everything. If you want dynamic stuff, if you're trying to be a podcaster, I'll tell you the difference between a YouTuber and a podcaster. A YouTuber can be a semi podcaster. He can get USBs all day. He can get a few dynamics. Great. But if he wants to be a professional, kind of like, I'll give you an example by podcasts I listen to. I listen to the $1 Million Worth of Game. Their presentation is amazing. When they talk about real stuff, problems in Philadelphia and whatever, him and his cousin Wilo, yeah, they got the dynamic stuff, but they have presentation. They talk about their experiences all day, right? They're a good example. Devin Wade, a small podcasting like channel, but over 300 something thousand, right? Them dudes is doing the fucking work. Let's go on, keep it techie. Salute to you, man. And it just the presentation matters. It matters at this point. Like, you know, it's nice. You can have all the nice things. I listen to different podcasts. I listen to Bill Burr's podcast. It was nice. I mean, you didn't see them, but he had those messages and whatever. Joe Rogan's okay. That's just, you know, that's the name. It's a couple of them. But most people, if you're a podcast, you want to be like those guys, you got to have a nice team. It's kind of like the media. You got to be mainstream ready. And plus, you got to be bound to it. You know what I'm saying? You got to be built for that. I'm not saying you can't be built for it, but you got to have that nice presentation, man. You got to have that talk. And sometimes people care. They care what you think. They care what you think. And that's a good thing about it, you know. And if you want to be that type of podcaster, yeah, you gotta have a nice audience, a nice fan base. You know, it's a lot from the music industry or in the broadcasting booth. But as a YouTube, I'll say a YouTube podcast or a YouTuber, for example, he has to be like a creator. You got to do vlogs, you got to do pre-records, which is great. Few streams there and there, and then that's what a YouTuber is. He's a creator. He's a content creator. That's what he is. I'll give you another one: a Patreon, a content creator. There's another site I like. It's called Rumble. I want to be a content creator over there. You know, make different content. I'm thinking about it, but it's a good app. Shouts out to Soul and Black and Wacky. I might have to check that out. That's gonna be some good content. I'll be over there. I don't know if I'm gonna do it in November. If I will, I'll put some uploads over there. Trust me. That's just gonna be out of there. Oh, you know what I'm saying? He said, "What about stereo?" Oh, I might have to look into that, Toya. I haven't heard of it, but it's a lot of good ones. Yeah. Well, if you want to be a podcasting professional, if you want to be professional, I'll give you an example. Not fresh and I mean flims and flamsy. I don't care about them, but I'm talking about a real podcasting like channels that you see on YouTube. You gotta look at the best, man. And they want to be on TV, on YouTube TV, and have their shows on YouTube TV so they can sell it for YouTube, right? And these packages like Hulu, right? That's podcast. You don't get in that game, you got to do a lot. It's not just cameras, but it's presentation, your answers. You can't be a bunch of derelicts on there and screaming, nigga, nigga, this, nigga, that, blaming women all day. No, no, no. You got to talk something different because people want to hear something different. Talking about relationships is a nice feat. It's very slim right now, but you got to have a great presentation. I believe it because 5% of the time you're gonna have to learn to adapt. Yeah, you can get gear all day. The gear is nice, the camera's nice, but what about your presentation? What are you trying to uh, present people? You know what I'm saying? Not just your life, who you are. What do you matters? What matters to you? It's all about you in the day. How you help others around you. Because I'm a generous person. If I see the beauty in people, and I give them that little knowledge, that's what I do. And I just step back and let them do the work. You know what I'm saying? I'll drop a little gems there and there, and I just step back and let them do the work. I ain't trying to be nobody's leader into this shit. No, you're your own leader. If you're a good follower, be your own leader. Learn leadership. Learn from the teacher, and then learn from yourself too. And we're talking about self confidence. Once you have self confidence in your internal shit, your internal values, it's gonna go up. That's it. The external stuff will come later, and it will, because I know from firsthand. So yeah, when I did these live streams, man, at first I wasn't even doing them. I said, fuck it. I didn't want to go do them. I could have did this last year if I wanted to. Last year was it. You know what I'm saying? Like last year was it. I could have did that. Let's go on third ward. Salute, bro. Taurus game. Yeah, you're right. Hey, third, I'm gonna watch your show later, and I'll be there tonight in Teapots. I know it's gonna be short. So yeah, I decided to do this stream because it's like Saturday morning. It's 11:46 over here. You know what I'm saying? The ultimate tutor is in the building. She said, "Oh, here we go." Bullies. uh, can we all fixed signs get along? Can all fixed signs get along? Oh, not a problem, man. Yeah, I'll take you out today, and I'll take you out tonight because I ain't got nothing else to do Saturday. Because this stream is gonna be it for the day. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. It's just like I'm glad it's a day-to-day thing. And I'm glad I saw that stream yesterday, that 10-hour show. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that. We had a great build. When you talk about the dereliction day to day, I said it's a day to day process. A lot of these dudes in the space don't want to acknowledge that, especially 3.0 guys, the followers. It's just they in turmoil. But shouts out there was saying what was going on with Gnome Lightside. Yeah, but yeah, but they don't acknowledge. Shouts out to Third World for saying the information over Kudas and Rashawn's. He said Polygon and the Gnome guy, the no dice, no beard, the bearded one, was going at it with the big homie X. That's all I gotta say. But I ain't worried about her. She's mad at me and Pepe and Cuda right now over that third shift shit. She's mad about that. That's why you ain't seen her over there. I done ran her off. She hates my ass. I already know. She don't be over there like that. But Polygon, you know who I'm calling Polygon? I don't even know that dude, man. A lot of people like him. I don't. I didn't like him since well, day one we was neutral. It was cool until he did that whole shit in another individual that I used to go frequently on the channels and being a mod over there. That fuck nigga, but this fuck nigga Polygon is an instigator. Fuck him. Fuck his channel too. I meant what I said. I meant what I said. I don't fuck with niggas like that. And no lifestyle, keep your bullshit to yourself. Ain't nobody who listen to your bullshit and try to say I bought stars. Fuck you too. Yeah, that's right. I say fuck both of them to this day. And I stand on it, nigga. Me and my team got an interview with the Prophet of Thought series at 9 Eastern time. Yeah. Yeah, he's talking to Toya. Yeah, man, like derelict Negroes killing each other over some dumb shit. Over a goddamn woman, man. I don't support that shit. That goes to any of them. I don't support that shit. I just cut them niggas off. And I did the right thing last year and this year. I did it in March, and that's why I started streaming the next month. That's why I wanted to stream. See, I was learning how uh a certain host that I like the most does his channels. I learned it from everybody from last year. See, it was in my head last year. I had to have a better presentation. You know what I did with my streams? I named it something, talked about it, stopped talking about the manuscript stuff, and talked about something different. And it turned into shows like my not shows but discussions like Thursday Thrills, that's new. Friday Special Madness was my first one. Sunday Chills is like my second one. That's my Sunday streams. Then my Thursday streams. That's it. But the Monday, Tuesday streams, they're open. Saturday's open. But when it comes to Wednesday streams, those are my history streams. I talk about a lot of history and drop gems, and then boom, that's it. If I want to do reviews, responses, I'll do them on Mondays and Tuesdays. That's what I'm gonna start doing. I'll probably do that next month. I'll do that frequently. Probably on a Monday, because not everybody streams on Monday. I'll come around Monday, Sunday to Monday. I'll do that. Because if you think about the Wednesday streams, it's just one thing. And I'm good. I do research on that. But the Thursday and Friday streams, that's open discussion. We can talk about anything we want. I just gotta write my presentation down, then open up the discussions, and then in the winter, everybody's gonna be home in the winter. I already know. It's a big bang. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna do our shit this year. But yeah, man, I'm gonna have to get up out of here. Appreciate you, Third Ward, Toya the Tutorer, the ultimate one, the Tutorer. Shouts out to Keep It Techie, man. What's going on, man? Divulge with Chip. What's going on, man? Appreciate you stopping by. Nicer, Sheila E. Who else came through? Degenerate, Juan G's, of course. Who else came through? Who else came through? Music. What's going on, man? Underrated Darkness, he's streaming. UD, what's going on, bro? Information Man, appreciate y'all for coming by. Mace, past $40. Who else? Wacky, the legendary Wacky World of Old. Appreciate you stopping by. Shalom, brother. Shabbat Shalom. I yield male Israelite. Shouts out to you, man. Appreciate y'all for stopping by. It's a lot of people that stop by through. Yeah, man. As I was saying, it's real, man. So with that, I'm gonna say it's my Shabbat. I'm gonna say shalom and peace.